Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview covering VCT America Stage 2. For this occasion, I'm here accompanied once again by Jawgemo of Evil Geniuses, who are coming off of a 2-0 loss to MIBR at the end of their season. So, Jawgemo, thank you so much for one more interview at the end of this year. Just want to ask you straight up, losing to an originally winless team, what's going through your mind right now?
Nothing much. I mean, our team was at that point at one time in our season as well, so I know what that team is going through in their head mentally. Like, oh, we're zero and whatever. I just play our hearts out. That's kind of. I mean, I'm not really mad at that. I'm actually happy that that team, has that mentality of like, hey guys, let's give it our all. Let's do what we gotta do to get this first dub. That's usually where the snowball starts for a lot of teams as well. Like even our team after beating NRG Sentinels, we were on like a 4 game win streak, and then we slowed down a little bit after we lost to Lev. So that's just how it is. So yeah, I really think they did a really good job, and they were shooting for sure today. So yeah.
I mean, I can understand how this must have been still like a very difficult time frame to go through because by this point you guys were already out as a result of losing to 100 Thieves, and so how do you kind of contrast that from how you've seen like in MIBR's collective emotion to how you guys were kind of approaching this, mental wise, how did you kind of see the comparison on that regard?
Um, as a team, it was a little bit slow in like the hype. We got a little bit less hype than normal. It does trickle down a lot for all of us, especially not knowing what's next. Like if we're gonna get the playoffs and stuff like that, kind of knowing the reasoning why we're not gonna make it to the next part of the season. It gets a little rough. It definitely gets to people's heads. It got to my head as well. No one's perfect. We're all humans, and I think what I saw from MIBR was just like they were just a bunch of guys playing together, having fun. That's what we try to do as well this whole season. We just made sure like we're all having fun, we're all laughing. It is a game. We're just trying to make sure that the five of us in the server together are just laughing, having fun, regardless of the score, regardless of the kills we have. And I think that's probably the difference, I guess. Yeah.
I want to ask you about what you think was the biggest issues now, focusing on the game within that series. Of course, MIBR busted out that double Sentinel comp, and I believe a few members of their team kind of talked about how it was kind of a surprise during the broadcast. Might be wrong, but still, you add that, and then also what happened in Lotus, basically a stomp in favor of them over you guys. I mean, what do you think was
Yeah.
the biggest obstacle that you guys experienced in that series from your point of view?
Uh, for the bomb, we played against that comp before. I think what caught us off guard was definitely like their setup that they had on B. Not knowing if they were inside or out of sight, it could definitely kind of mess with us a little bit. Like the one round we pushed the elbow, there was a trip deep elbow. Then we had a flank from A. There was a deep chip in their spawn from A. So it was definitely weird. Like they definitely had a good read in how our hits worked and how they wanted to play that type of sentinels, and they have a good flood with their comp as well. So I definitely think that Fraud did a really good job at like cooking that up and having like the set protocols that he needed for this map. He probably could work on another team or two as well. So it's nice to see that the game is changing. It's not as staggered as it was a few years ago.
And I gotta ask about Lotus. I mean, what went wrong there? It was just the mental lapse that the team experienced there, or what do you think was it?
I think it was more. I guess it could have been mental. I'm not really too sure. Like, that was kind of a blur for me as well. I think after I whiffed the kill when the guy was full blind, I was like, yeah, I was like, it's a little rough right now, but I definitely we all tried to keep the composure there. I think it was just like they were hitting some shots. After they got once MIBR got that confidence, they definitely started shooting a little bit better than us. I think that's how the games are. That's how the games usually go. Especially with the underdog team, they get that spark and they just start shooting back, and sometimes it's hard for us to like deal with as well. So
Yeah, you know what they say, like whenever you face MIBR or whenever one faces MIBR with nothing to lose, and they suddenly become like I don't know, like Fnatic or EG 2023 champs, the kind of version. Uh, but still, uh, with this result now it ends the season for you and the rest of the team. Just now want to ask about just your reflection on 2024. I've been able to have the privilege of talking to you various times, various interviews, like mostly in stage one and even like in stage two right now, including right now at this very moment in time. um
yeah.
what do you think was what was the biggest positives and negatives that you've seen out of this team from your point of view, and also biggest positives and negatives from yourself in this year.
Uh, Apoth coming in definitely. I was very excited to play with him. He came into a new role, so getting to see somebody and coach somebody for my coach as well, like coaching him, teaching him how to play the Sentinel, and learning his own pathways of becoming a true Sentinel main eventually. It was very nice to see him explode because me and him played on the previous rosters on EG. So seeing him, do his best and trying his hardest and seeing how his work is on the Sentinel, like it definitely got me like very happy to see him improving as a player. Superman as well, was on phase. He dropped 40 on me on Ascent one time. My eyes always been on him, and just seeing him like being very explosive still on his role, like in that controller role. And whenever he knows he's in that fight and he knows that he'll beat you in a 1v1, like you can't duel him. Derek, even though the previous 100 Thieves stuff that happened, getting getting us the champs and stuff like that, people definitely forgot about Derek. In the LCQ, like he was very explosive. Like people definitely didn't know that like that guy has some shooting power. And Derek is like, he was very nice in the server. He always had me supported. And once I get him to support me, and then I get him set up for the 1v2, 1v3s, I always see the clutch factor out of him, and he's like one of the biggest clutch people that I've seen throughout the year. Nature, coming in tier one IGL, he's definitely different. Like he has a nice read on the game. I think a lot of people don't understand how his mind works yet, so they're still picking at him a little bit, kind of like introduce coach's play style, his play style. I think he does a really good job, and I appreciate like everything he does. Like he's a very nice guy, and he knows how to like work the game whenever he's on point, and he knows it's in his favor as well. And for myself, I'm glad that I got the opportunity to play duelist this year and show that the world that I can be a duelist main. Definitely had some hiccups coming in and out of the first split and even towards the end of this split. I still got more to improve. And I still got a lot to do to become at the top. And this off season is just gonna be training harder than ever. Finally, get to take my week off. That I didn't get to have last year because we were finding new teammates. So it's definitely nice to see like once I have this reset, like who I'm gonna be next and where I'm gonna be at next as well. The biggest negative from my side is probably just like not being able to like be that person for my team and showing like giving them that champions like aura, giving them that mentality of let's do it, guys. Like we can win. Like I feel like I could have done more, but like that comes with time and over time. We had a short season and not the we didn't go to any events, so it was just the regular season that kind of sucked that we had to just do through that. But I'm pretty sure if we made it to playoffs or any event, you guys would have saw like the sparks in our team. So I guess that's the only thing I'll say. The downside for the whole thing.
Yeah, obviously, missing out on playoffs is not the way that anyone in EG would have wanted the year to end. But still, you kind of mentioned a little bit at the very end there on your recent answer about things you could have done differently. More so pivoting towards the entire team. What do you think the team could have done differently that could have just led to a different result than what you're in right now?
Um, Kind of hard to say. I'm not really. I haven't really pictured that question out yet. Um, but just be like, I guess we all should have just been confident going to every match and knowing that we like MIBR. We're just here to play, and it doesn't matter about the result. We're all here just to achieve one thing: win, go to the next stage, go to international. I think it's very simple. Whenever I could say it, but we can't do it as well. Um, but I think anybody that's ever been on my team since the start of EG, we always just wanted to see what was. We wanted the small goals. We always wanted to reach the small goals, playoffs, uh, then grands. If we make it there, and then just the small steps. So I think that's what I should try to portray more and like get the team hype more about that eventually. So I think that's all I can really say.
You've been so far in this current iteration of the squad, the longest lasting player within this team. Obviously, there's Potter, but I'm just more focusing on the player aspect. Been able to do things that many people would have killed to do, winning champs, doing well, international stuff. Want to ask you just straight up, what's your future like after today? Have you ever thought about your future and where you think you might be at in the future?
I mean, EG is a great org. It's a lot of people downplay EG a lot, and I think that people don't understand. Like, they gave me an opportunity whenever I first came from tier two, and I was a nobody. And they still gave us the opportunity whenever we won champs. Fortunately, we didn't stay together as five, but they said, "Hey, you're still here. You can still make a name for yourself." And I think that's a lot of things that orgs won't do for you if they don't believe in you. So I would say I appreciate EG for letting me conquer that and acquire that taste of victory. That one time. But I'm not sure what my future will be. It's too early in the season. I still don't know where I want to be at. I still need to take a break to make sure I know that I'm capable of just reflecting on the year. So I would really don't know where I would be, but wherever I tend to be, I know that any org or even EG will love to have me regardless. So I'll just that's all I can really say.
I understand that, and as you said, you definitely showed very bright spots from yourself and also the rest of the team throughout the entire year. And for that, it was definitely a spectacle, and also for you to give me this time and time again throughout the season, while also already being busy throughout this entire year, which I understand. I really do appreciate that, also, Jawgemo. And that's it. I got no more questions to ask. I just want to give you the floor, the final few minutes to you. Do you have any final words to say to anyone that's out there in the world?
First off, I mean, it sounds very corny, but follow your dreams. Time is short. People around you won't always be around you, but your family will be there for you, and just make sure you're happy whatever you're doing in life because time is short, and you can only be happy for so long. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I appreciate all the fans, all the love. Appreciate my parents for letting me get the opportunity, my girlfriend as well. Appreciate you letting me have this conversation with you. It's a lot of things that people don't take for granted and might not be here the next day. Something might not be here the next day, and you gotta enjoy every moment. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Jagimo,
you so
man.
much.
Best of luck for you in the future and wherever else you may go, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, Pedro. Thank you. Have a good night.